or one commentator said, even if you put a goat
Yeah.
as the leader of this party, their followers will still vote for them because we are so divided on ethnic grounds that we don't think about the common Ghana that we all hold dearly together. We on bringing our ethnic members into office, not just the political leaders, but other public officers, that we do not care so much about how we're going to succeed. Let us also educate. As I said, it's about education. Education. And then we should stop recycling the two parties. It's going to be difficult not to bring the two parties back because again, it's about a tribal thing at this moment, but I believe we are somehow close. If we can have almost 50% in parliament, then that is something that can work in the near future. But I would say that platforms of this nature will be very, very important. Maybe we need to look for some grants to help people go to the rural areas and help educate them because it's about time that we considered Ghana as a nation, the growth of Ghana, because this is a country that has almost all the resources one can think of. We have the sun, we have gold, we have do we have diamond? We have
We do.
cocoa. Yes, we have almost every resource in the country. We shouldn't be poor. Ghana should not be poor at all. Even if we are, there is poverty in every culture. There is poverty in every country. But the rich poor gap shouldn't be as wide as we have right now. We should educate and we should stop the sycophancy, being able to tell them when they are wrong, being able to face them, being able to make them aware and hold them accountable is all we need at this point. All right. I hope I answered your
Mr.
question.
Domelevo. Right.
Yeah, thank you. I will agree more with Debbie, except that she forgot that the most precious resource that we have as a country is the human resources.
Oh, yeah.
You have 31 million people or more, and we can do a lot with these people. In fact, what beats my mind is that when you go international, you go to the World Banks, the IMFs, all those international organizations, you meet Ghanaians who are on top of issues. And then back at home, nobody seems to care about them or is interested in them. Like Prof. Kit said, I agree, education, understand. It is our money that they are using. Go back to the drawing board and ensure that the National Development Planning Commission does its work. The Constitution actually enjoins, I think, under Article 38, Clause 8, I don't remember exactly, but it is under the directive principles of state policy that successive governments must, as much as possible, continue the development plans of their predecessors. But what do we see? A school is completed, yet it is abandoned and a new one starts. We have the Saglame project. You see Saglame and your heart should bleed as a Ghanaian. It doesn't make any sense at all that we can have those buildings standing there. And today we are being told that some feasibility studies have been done and we have to start another one. So if they start a new one and it's not completed and there is a change in government in 2025, that means we are going to do something else. This is nonsense and it must stop somewhere. Nobody runs an organization, a family or institution like this. Why are we running a nation as if we are idiots? We can't continue tolerating this. So we need more education. If we have to go to the grassroots level, the districts and the regions and sensitize the people that it is time we start holding these people accountable. I think the time is now. There is the need for civil disobedience. We don't have to allow our servants who are supposed to serve us become dictators to us, abusing their office anyhow. So this is my reaction to that. Thank you.
Yeah, Ben, let me make a quick comment.
Interesting point. Prof, I'll let you come in shortly. By the way, we have just about 8 minutes left on the conversation.
Okay.
So more concise, very concise responses, because I see a number of people dropping their responses. What I take from here, there is the need for civil disobedience. Is that the solution? Quick thoughts, Prof, as we move on.
I am a very calm person who believes in dialogue over civil disobedience. I have been talking about the youth being angry. I don't expect them to really get violent when they get angry. They just need to sit the leaders down and reject them when they come. They need to use their intellectual capabilities rather than taking to the street and causing harm and destroying the little that they have. Because if you've observed, whoever is in power controls the police. There have been instances where they have unleashed so many tear gas and stuff on the youth peacefully protesting against the rot that is going on. We don't want that. But they can have peaceful conversation about that. And then I also wanted to talk about the leadership that, like,
I'm not calling for mob action. I'm not calling for mob action. If you call us, you treat us anyhow, we can decide to ignore you. Disobedience does not necessarily mean a mob action. So that's not what I'm calling for, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But I also wasn't even directly responding to you. I was just giving advice to the youth that, this is what they need to also do.
Right.
About this honesty could not finish and we booted them out. They need to continue, but because it's all about me, it's all about me and my household. It's all about me and those who campaign for me, who would sacrifice to go to the villages. They don't care so much about the resources that would go waste if they don't continue. And these are the areas we need to go over. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let me quickly take some more comments and messages that are coming through, just so we can exhaust most of them. Where did I even end? So this one says the public sector is now seen as a money-making venture, an entrepreneurial adventure using taxpayers' money and exploiting our national assets. Dr. Lawrence says the Council of State is to help the president appoint qualified candidates. Recently, they told one political party that they only look at qualifications of candidates. Is that good enough? So anyone can be the electoral commissioner ahead of the civil service, I think you mean. Then, would the panelists recommend, this is Kwame, would the panelists recommend the teaching of ethics in our basic curriculum? I think that's a brilliant idea, the teaching of ethics.
That's what I've been talking about. Mm-hmm.
I think I've had the chairperson of the Commission on National Commission on Civic Education on one of my programs in the past talk about this before. Emmanuel Oseofusu says sycophancy, greed, and self-seeking glorification by our leaders is what is dragging this nation back. Ghana deserves better. Nana says execution is the problem. Plans are there. Parties that come into power sidestep the plans and execute their own plan to make money. We have lost our national purpose. Nana, again, youth are not. We need to educate them to organize in the selection of. I'm hearing some youth, please. Our indigenous knowledge will surely move us in the right direction. Well, hopefully, but you see, all talk without any action. I don't know. This one, Paulina Akbalu says, if you look at Rwanda, they have modified the Western form of democracy. These Western world brought to them. Can we also do something like that? Okay, so those are, I think, all the messages we can take because we are winding down on the conversation at this point. So as we wrap, I want to put the question to both of you. How then can we bring about the change? I was hoping Honorable Odum would join us because he had some positive examples. We've spoken about the negative ones. Maybe in the next session we may have ample opportunity. But are there any positives at all, Mr. Domelevo, Prof, that you can share in our system? It cannot be all bad, can it? And then again, in terms of the examples of Kenya, recently I heard some officials were being, they had been arrested, they were going to be jailed. Last year, another person, similar situation in Rwanda. we unfortunately we are not seeing that in Ghana. We have a plethora of cases. I don't want to mention names. Recently, money found in this person's bedroom and all of that, items stolen. We don't have the facts. The matter has not been concluded. But what can we learn from these countries? Are there any positives we can share to encourage the youth and those who want to do the right thing? And what is the way forward? I'll start with you, Mr. Domelevo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben, for that. Let me say that if you want to be an ethical leader in an environment which is so toxic as we have in Ghana, it's very difficult. But it's also heartwarming when you see how people react to you, acknowledge you, when you are able to withstand the storm. Many times I get surprised when I go to faraway countries like Switzerland and recently Vietnam, and people acknowledge you. Oh, yes, this is the Auditor General. This is the man who was trying to protect our public purse. It's quite good, and it is helpful, and it opens a lot of doors for you. So let me say that I believe and I know that there are several Ghanaians who mean well and who, if they get the opportunity, they would like to serve, but some of them fear going into public office by the very fact that if they want to stand by their principles and do what is right or ethical, they may be crucified and they may not have the opportunity of carrying out what is required of them. I would like to say to them that fear not. It is good you go in there, because if all of us take off our hands from the plug, then it means the evil ones are going to have their field day. So I encourage everyone to go in there. In the mid of the storm, there is hope. My personal belief is that the day we get an ethical leader, you will see Ghana transform like nobody has seen it before. Ghana is not different from Rwanda. Ghana is not different from Malaysia, the Singapores, and etc. We're in the same group. In fact, Ghana was even ahead of Malaysia at independence. So what happened said that they are ahead of us. It's one thing, leadership. So the day we get that leadership, we can transform and also move. So those who lose hope in the country, I tell them, no, there's a lot of hope for us. There's a lot of hope for us, because all that we need is to get the right leadership, and things will start changing as expected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Domelevo. Let me hear from you now, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks everybody for the opportunity. And then I would also reiterate the comment on leadership. It's all about leadership. And then the next one is education, being able to create the awareness and to sensitize the general public to the role that they must play in ensuring that we have the kind of leader that would think about the common good and not themselves, their friends, and their families. Talking about, you say you probably didn't want comments on that, but I still feel I need to comment on that the money is found in people's homes. Here in America, if you're traveling, and those of you who travel a lot, if you're traveling to, even within your home, if you are caught with $10,000 or more on you, you have to provide a bank statement confirming how you came about that 10,000. And let's put things into perspective. $1 million is a lot of money. Make six figures in the United States. You cannot save $1 million even in 5 years or in 10 years. You'll have to invest, reinvest, and sacrifice, and don't buy good food for yourself and live in good areas and all that. So we need to understand the implications of getting access to so much money, millions of dollars. All right, when people's incomes will just be around 7,000 cedis a month. We need to think about that. There is a way forward. We have some positives. The positives is that one of them is we are here. We've started this conversation. How far is this going to go? Are we going to let the conversation stay only here with us, or are we going to pass it on? Are we going to re-educate the general public about this? Are we going to further this some more? Look at other related topics, bring it to the doorsteps of those who need to hear this, and let them understand that when we talk about these things, they shouldn't take it personal, because I have been penalized on a few occasions. I won't pay bribe, but I'll ask for favors. If anybody approaches me to say, hey, can you talk to such and such a person to see if they can help me get a job? If the person qualifies, why not? But, because I have this loud mouth, whatever, whenever I send a name forward, this person I will never get an opportunity. All right. So we need to let them know the fact it shouldn't even come to that we have to send names. Please, this person is a graduate with this, with that qualified, must it come to that? No. On merit, yeah, we need to do that. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before I conclude, more comments coming in. So let me just acknowledge, I want to ensure that everybody is fairly represented. Kwame says, Ben, thanks for asking the question on the positives as well. Jacob Yabua says, for solutions and the way forward, we need a CSO as a credible, so civil society organization, as a credible alternative to political parties. The CSO will support to push independent MPs to parliament and wrest the presidential seat from the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. There's also Nana Safo Kantanka who says, what are the qualities of this right leadership? And how do we even tell until we've tried them? That's the bigger test we face. Who would have thought some of these charismatic leaders would fail